Hello and welcome. Over the next 5 minutes, we'll go over how you can accelerate your organization's carbon reduction strategies using AI and Copilot in Microsoft Sustainability Manager.
Evan, Contosa Sustainability Practitioner, is working with his team to figure out how they can optimize and lower their end-of-life treatment of sold products emissions in their APAC region. Evan begins by going into document analysis and uploading GHG Protocol's Scope 3 calculation guidance document. Once uploaded, it takes a few moments to process. Once the document is ready for analysis, Evan begins by asking what an accurate and complete reporting of Scope 3 Category 12 looks like. This will ensure that Contosa begins with a solid baseline on which they can later forecast their reductions on. Copilot quickly parses the document and returns a thorough answer for Evan, guiding him through the data collection, methodology, calculation, and reporting stages of Category 12. Evan follows up by asking Copilot, what considerations should we make when optimizing our Category 12 functions? By asking this, Evan hopes to gain insights as to how they can lower their Contosa APAC emissions in this area over time. Once again, Copilot delivers a quick and thorough response, using the document's context to summarize the value of exploring and implementing carbon reductions throughout not only Category 12, but all Scope 3 emissions. Using this information, Evan can now move on to the forecasting stage of his exploration using what-if analysis. Evan begins by naming his what-if analysis scenario based on the forecast he'd like to create. He'll then select end-of-life treatment of sold products from the 15 available data types. Each data type has its own customizable configuration, allowing organizations to accommodate for their individual needs. With Category 12, Evan can forecast the impact of changing the way they dispose of materials. He chooses to forecast the impact of switching from combusting to recycling their mixed plastics, as that's currently the largest contributor of emissions in this category for Contosa APAC. Finally, Evan chooses the calculation model that he'd like to use for this scenario. Once all the fields have been filled in, Evan saves his scenario and initiates a forecast job. Once the job completes, Evan will receive a notification alerting him that the results are ready for his review. Once Evan receives this notification, he selects View Results and is taken to the Details page. Here, Evan begins by reviewing the historical data. This gives him the confidence of knowing that the forecasts are based on an accurate look-back period. Having done this, Evan is now ready to focus in on the two forecasts that have been generated. The blue dotted line represents the next 6 months of estimated values if Contosa APAC were to continue combusting their mixed plastics. The purple dotted line represents the next 6 months of estimated values if they were to switch to recycling them. Evan then focuses in on the prediction intervals, which represent the range of values that a particular forecast point may fall between. Even with the span of these ranges, it's clear to Evan that switching from combusting to recycling their mixed plastics is projected to have a very positive impact on their overall emissions in this area. Evan notates the estimated emissions for each path and plans his strategy for communicating this back to his team.
To learn more, I encourage you to visit the resources on screen and initiate your free trial of Microsoft Sustainability Manager today. Thanks for watching.